Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Street Gamers First Strike Open Qualifier. I'm Simo. Alongside me is the unofficial Spike Rush champion, Esports Doug. First thoughts on winning the championship. How you feeling? How's it looking? Are you going to take the trophy home back to your wife? Is it going to go back in a bookshelf? Where's it going?
I will probably keep it on me at all times. I think I'm going to carry it around like a good luck charm everywhere I go. So you don't give up something like that, right? Like a hard-fought championship win in Spike Rush, you don't just put that thing to a side. But all of that said, there is another championship that's being fought for here as the fight for the #1 seed continues. We've already taken care of one of the semifinals. Now we have another one at bay. TSM, CLOUD9. Simo, I know we've done a ton of research on this. We can talk about this for a very long time. Off the cuff, what are your initial thoughts? Like, what are you thinking? How you feeling?
I mean, I don't think my thoughts matter as much as Coach Myth's thoughts matter. I think he's developed a pretty solid game plan. The 100 Thieves game plan was just to put 100 Thieves in the trash bin, and that seemed to work out. I wonder where Cloud9 is going in this best-of-3 series. I'd imagine a very similar plan, maybe a garbage compactor. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to spice things up, trying to change things up a little bit. I think the story here for me, you know, initially walking into this, you're thinking, okay, this is Wardell versus Tens. It's a Jet v Jet matchup. But I actually think it's IGL versus IGL. Shinobi, alongside the new addition to the Cloud9 support staff, have added a head coach and a strategic coach, are really trying to level up their game here for Valorant. On the flip side, we're looking at Cutler, the new IGL here for TSM, and he's off with the Cypher onto a Sova or the Killjoy, depending on the map. So really, TSM have shaken up the internal role system to really favor themselves because they're looking good in this open qualifier.
They are indeed. Both of these squads come in sitting pretty. They also have some history behind them, Simo. We think about all of the times that these two squads have met. Cloud9 has managed to get the best of TSM in a best-of-3 the last 2 times. So while on standings everywhere, most people are going to have TSM above Cloud9. Cloud9, there are no rollovers. They have shown that they can hang with TSM. They can trade punches with them. So this one's going to be good.
You know, I find it interesting to elaborate more on that Cutler now in the IGL position. For the past couple of months, especially during the opportunities that Cloud9 and TSM have had to face each other, Cloud9 winning 2 best-of-3s up against TSM at the FaZe Clan Valorant Invitational and the Pulse Series Invitational. Cloud9 getting the better of TSM in both of those instances. That was also a time when Cutler was on the Cypher. Unfortunately, the community was not very happy with his performance. His team was obviously supporting him, but he's just, you know, in that Cypher role, he wasn't really able to do a whole lot as that late round anchor. He would either die first or die last, and not really provide TSM with that additional firepower that they know that he's capable of doing, you know, in the role that he was in. I like to compare the TSM Cypher role of the TSM jungle role for the League of Legends roster. Whenever TSM has a jungler, man, the community hate them. They're like, man, you suck, you're horrible. I think for TSM, that specific role is the Cypher, because now we're looking at Hayes' stats. He's the new Cypher for the roster. He is not pulling statistical weight, and that means that the Cypher role for TSM is just to get that utility, is just to get that information. And we're seeing that, you know, it's working out for the rest of the team. So stats don't matter if your team's winning, right? If Hayes is going to be on the Cypher and he's putting in the work for the utility, then it's going to work out for TSM.
It is. We will see how this series unfolds. Folks, we do have picks and bans for the maps already ready to go for you. So let's tee them up, let you know what we're about to get into. TSM, I can't believe I'm saying this. TSM banned Haven first.
Yes.
Why am I surprised, you ask? TSM is currently 5-0 on Haven this tournament. Meanwhile, Cloud9 is 3-2 on Haven. From a win percentage, their worst map of what's available for Cloud9 throughout this tournament. Simo, your thoughts on that initial choice?
You know, Cloud9 had very dominant performances on Ascent and split up against the slimy Boogermen. And of course, Equinox as well. The only map that they were able to take against Cloud9 was Haven. Statistically, the previous 2 opponents that Cloud9 faced beat Cloud9 on Haven. So it'd be very interesting to see why would they ban Haven. The only thing that we can chalk it up to is that TSM are prepared for Bind. Now, the reason why we don't have that data is because both Cloud9 and TSM have not played Bind in this open qualifier. That just might be something that has been kept secret, something that we haven't seen yet, or something that we just, based off of scrims for TSM, they're very comfortable with taking Cloud9 to Bind. But it's just so strange when they could have just banned Ascent or Split. I can see what you're saying, but there might be just some sort of special factor that we'll see with Bind. And TSM end up picking Bind second, Cloud9 pick Ascent first. That's where we're headed to next. And the decider will be on Split. So 2 of the map picks really do favor Cloud9 in this instance. But based on Wardell's most recent tweet, TSM are fired up and ready to go.
Well, and here's the thing, too. I want to be very careful about how I say this. I'll just say it. TSM as a roster, right, as an organization, carries swagger to them. Right? Like,
yes,
we are the best.
Yes.
Even if they aren't playing at their best, they carry themselves as if though they are the best. So I would not be shocked, to be brutally honest with you, if TSM were like, Cloud9, we know that's your worst map. You know what? We're going to ban it for you. We're going to beat you anyway, and we're going to show just how much better we are. That's the swagger with which the TSM organization and this roster tends to play with. So I can't help but wonder, like, if it's a little bit of mind games, a little bit of something like that, a little spicy, but either way, Haven off the board, and ladies and gentlemen, we are loading into Ascent. The first map in this best-of-3 semifinal, 2 heavyweight rosters, heavyweight organizations, storied across esports for the last decade, now find themselves fighting for a final spot in the Nerd Street Gamers First Strike qualifier. Simo, I know I hate to do this to you, but you know I have to.
Okay.
Give me predictions. What are you thinking? How you feeling?
Well, listen, I was predicting a 3-map series up against Genji and Envy, but they have really surprised us. And I think for TSM and Cloud9, looking at the opponents that TSM personally has had to go through, they had a little bit of a tougher time. Renegades definitely rocked the boat a little bit, but 100 Thieves, a team that we, I think the general consensus of they were going to come in and showcase this new roster to great effect. But TSM, to be quite honest, dispatched them accordingly in the, I believe it was the quarterfinals. So for C9, yeah, they got vengeance against the Slimy Boogerman, but I think the opposition hasn't really given them a lot of good tournament practice. That's not to discredit the Slimy Boogerman or Equinox, but that TSM just had it a little bit rougher moving into this semifinal.
I'm not going to lie to you, Simo. Part of me wants the Slimy Boogerman to get signed. They're insanely talented, so I want somebody to pick them up anyway, but just so I can stop saying Slimy Boogerman on an official broadcast. Cloud9 comes out the gate swinging. They're able to take care of 2. TSM down to 3 members left, and 2 of them have half health. Cloud9 look like they're going to be able to get onto A. They already have somebody there. Shinobi with 1 health is going to be able to get the spike down. Wardell's going to get flashed off instantly as they fight to retake the site.
Wardell just crouching, doing the crab walk on the Heaven side. He does see a player there, spots the cape, but does not spot Vice down below, and just like that, you blink and you miss it. Cloud9 win the pistol with 2 members remaining. One of the things that I have to highlight is that Cloud9 have been running the same comp the entire tournament. The same comp. Relics on the Raze, Vice on the Breach, Shinobi on the Omen, Tens on the Jet, Mitch on the Killjoy. It has been the same. There's been a little bit of a shuffle from TSM from map to map. Sometimes you might see the Phoenix, sometimes you might see the Killjoy come out from Cutler. You're seeing a little bit of more variety from TSM. I really want to know what is the thought process behind Cloud9's just sticking to one comp. And we'll see it here. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if they're able to best TSM here in this series. And if the one comp wonder really does work out here in the open qualifier.
Cloud9 does have a 76.6% win rate on the attacking side on Ascent. They're good here, folks. They're really freaking good here. Can TSM respond? Can TSM hold up? Cloud9 is going to have... They're going to have a couple of guns to boot after winning that initial round. It looks like they're also being very intentional about picking up a couple of ultimate orbs, invest that into the later rounds. Cloud9, it's early, but they look good so far.
Looking at the other map statistics here for Cloud9, it's the defense where they really tend to suffer. So this is a great opportunity for them to really kick it into overdrive on the attack. They obviously have forced up here for the second round, but Wardell, he's doing the crouch spam. He's ready for the shorty. And he's not looking to go to the club just yet. We're now seeing the push in. Shinobi's going to find one, but Wardell, he's waiting on the opposite side. Just like that, blink and you miss it. He'll be taken down to 2 final members here for TSM. It should be looking like a round 1 here for Cloud9.
30 seconds left.
Maybe deal a little damage just like that. The burst out of the Classic from Hayes taking care of tens, but you assume, given what's going on, that Cloud9 should be able to take this round away. They invested into the Bulldog on round 2. It's paying off. That bad boy bites, and she hurts. Hayes is going to go a bit more aggressively here with a Bulldog of his own, but Relics takes care of that 1v1. Cloud9 win the expected round as they find themselves up 2-0.
Those are some smooth moves from Relics there. You know, in a round like that, your goal is at minimum to take out 3 players from Cloud9. They managed to take out 2. And that is relatively standard on that second round conversion. The economy is not going to be horrible or you know, not in a little bit of a tougher spot. We're seeing actually 3 assault rifles move into the round here for Cloud9. This is a heavy investment. If they can take down TSM here on that 3rd round, they're going to convert heavy into the rounds to follow.
Now, I mentioned earlier how good Cloud9 is on the attacking side. TSM is pretty freaking good on the defense on this map as well, 71.8%. They're also 4-0 on this map. So these guys are no slouches by any means. Again, the removing of Haven from this best of 3 really kind of forced both of these squads into a situation where it's just going to be good against good, right? Like, this is your good map, this is my good map too. We're going to stand toe-to-toe and see, quite frankly, who's just better.
Cloud9 playing it a little bit slower than around, gathering the information first. Trying to use that turret as a little bit of a shield as well. Now going to be backing away, middle quite open here for TSM, and in fact, incredibly passive play towards the B side. They've got both the Sentinel and the Initiator over there, Sova and the Cypher, just gathering intel where they can. So far, TSM still a little concerned where the spike might be headed. A site is heavily stacked, and Cloud9 may not even want to head over there as they're setting up for this
30 seconds left.
And it's interesting to see that they don't have any of that cheeky wallbang play out of TSM either. It looks like they've smoked off, they being Cloud9, excuse me, have smoked off entrances onto B. And you assume that that's where they were going to go, but Timo, they actually pulled off. They're not going that way at all. They're heading towards A, and Wardell's ready for it. He's able to get one, Drone gets one as well, as members of Cloud9 begin to drop. But there are only 8 seconds left. They've got to get on this site, they've got to get the spike, and they've got to do it now!
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Caught with the knives out, and TSM will hold fast. You saw Cloud9 was trying to do a couple of cheeky plays. Relics pushing up from the B side. Turret takes out Sabrosa. That's going to be clipped, shipped over to Reddit, over to Coach Myth for analysis. Break that down for us. How did that turret fall apart? How did Sabrosa fall apart? But nevertheless, Cloud9, a couple of cheeky plays, a couple of late round rotations. The calling there from Shinobi. TSM were ready. The heavy stack towards the A site really did prove to be the punch there that TSM needed to get that 3rd round.
Cloud9 is going to be coming in with some rifles, but also a pistol and a Spectre as well. They're not going to have full artillery here. And it looks like there is not going to be any monkey business this time around, as it looks like they're trying to make a push over onto B. Additionally, Killjoy has dropped the alarm bot just outside of that B lobby, I guess, platform, whatever you want to call that, just to make sure there's nobody rotating around. So it looks like they've committed to this.
Oh my goodness.
But freaking TSM is just mowing them down through the smokes. It's already 2 kills where Cloud9 has been taken out, and they haven't even stepped foot on the site. They haven't seen anybody, Simo.
Yeah, very well done. Sabrosa gonna cap that one off as well. Down to 2 final players. A heavy investment this round. You can see some of the assault rifles were in the hand of Cloud9, but now it may be the better idea to save the weaponry moving into that 4th round. It's not looking so good, at least for the moment. They do have Mitch and Relics still alive, still interested, still poking through. While the rest of TSM, pretty comfortable. They don't really have a whole lot to worry about. Cyber Cage is going to make matters even worse here for Cloud9.
30 seconds left.
Should be the round win. Minus a couple of potential heroics here from Cloud9 that could take a couple of TSM members out, but I don't really presume that's happening. They're all low on HP. You're now seeing TSM push to the courtyard. Pretty good hold here from TSM, and they're still looking, they're still hunting in classic TSM fashion.
Yeah, Drone and Cutler.
10 seconds left.
trying to get in on the action a bit. Both members of Cloud9 are all the way back in their spawn, huddled up, trying to stay alive, trying to buy time. Ever important that they stay alive. Relics is able to get one as a parting gift. A consolation, if you will. But TSM is able to win the round, and they're able to take care of those last 2 kills. Simo, you mentioned how important it was that Cloud9 invested that round. That did not look good at the end.
Yeah, and now this is going to be a great opportunity for TSM to convert that economy back into their side. Cloud9 started off hot, but this is now TSM's field to play. Cloud9, this composition has been so interesting to me. It's been consistently run time and time again, and for TSM, they're very comfortable with kind of shaking things up, considering we've seen, you know, IGL swaps consistently on this TSM roster. This seems to be a pretty good iteration of the team. Cutler calling for TSM this time around. And on the Sova, off of the Cypher, something that I think a lot of teams could benefit from: 2 things. A strong Jet and a strong Sova. Finding that information, using the Owl Drone, Hunter's Fury doing some damage. We saw the amazing play from Hiko on the Sova throughout the tournament. Unfortunately, it was not to be for 100 Thieves, but now Cutler on it. Also showcasing a lot of that great Sova play throughout the series as well, and throughout the open qualifiers to boot.
Folks, it looks like we are in a bit of a technical pause. We'll get back into action as soon as we possibly can, and if we get any explanation as to what's going on, we will let you know as well. But for now, knotted up 2-2 in this opening map of this best of 3. It's going to be guns across the board for Team Solo Mid, and for Cloud9, not nearly as impressive, not nearly as dense of a punch that they're going to be packing, as you see a couple of Stingers, a couple of Sheriffs as well. We're getting back into the action. This is a less than ideal round for Cloud9 here. They don't have the firepower to match TSM.
I still think that it's also interesting to see that they're very comfortable with pushing their economy to the max. The fact that they've invested into Stingers and light armor, they're willing to really bring the issue. Now TenZ is going to upgrade. That is not who you want in the hands of a Phantom. Hayes is going to be able to at least spray through the smoke and convert onto a trade. Now the 4v4 retake here for TSM. Cloud9 going to get that spike down. And ultimately on this eco, that's all they wanted. If they can get a couple of frags to boot, they are going to want that. And so far, it is really panning out here for Cloud.
Certainly more than worst case scenario so far for Cloud9. Again, ideally you get a pick. Maybe you get the spike down, whatever, you cut your losses. But so far, things are sitting pretty for Cloud9. It's going to drop down to a 3v3. Wardell and the rest of TSM trying to push through, but TenZ, who else? But TenZ already 3 on the round. It looks like the spike is going to go off, folks, as it continues to tick away. Cloud9 robbed TSM blind out of a situation that really shouldn't have gone their way.
I mean, it's the TenZ factor. It's something that I don't even need to tell you that he has the highest KD on the team. I don't even need to tell you that he has the highest kills per round in the tournament. I don't need to tell you he's got the highest first kills per round in the tournament. That is all kind of, it just goes without saying that TenZ is that dude for Cloud9. He's that guy. But on the opposite side, TSM also have that guy. Wardell not really lighting up quite yet, but Sabrosa definitely has been able to pack a serious punch around here. Now one for Cloud9. A little bit of a thrifty going into their hands. Definitely have to feel really happy about the way they executed on that B side.
Yeah, but I love how disciplined TSM was at the end of that round. Yeah, they gave up the round, they lost it, they weren't able to execute, but they got every single exit frag on the way out. And while Cloud9 can still buy, they can still bring full here, if they lose this round, they're broke.
Like I said before, very comfortable with stretching the economy thin. Here for Cloud9, very comfortable with pushing the extreme. TSM, a lot of ultimates on the table here. They definitely will be looking to commit them if they want to secure the round. Heavier stack towards the A site once again. It seems like teams are very uncomfortable, or certain ones at least, uncomfortable with the A site retake. For TSM, very comfortable with the B site retake. The consistent passive play. We'll see if Cloud9 get conditioned to it, but so far, their intention to hit this A site has been quite clear. And with the Rolling Thunder, sorry, they're looking for a couple of picks. Don't find anything as they are flashed on the wayside as well.
Yeah, that Rolling Thunder was huge to dissuade Cloud9 from investing over onto A. You saw them stacked up, and they were considering it, but that Rolling Thunder pushed them back and is going to force them over onto B. You hear the Bladestorm has been used as well from TenZ. Wardell still has that op, and while they pushed them away off of A, they have not fully rotated. They have not fully invested. Cloud9 is going to invest all of their resources. However, over onto B, you hear the lockdown has been used from the Killjoy as they try to establish some semblance of control over onto B site. The problem is, TSM can sit on the outside of that ult and still deal damage. Cloud9 has already lost one. Once again, it's going to be a late spike plan as TSM has to fight for the retake.
Whoa, Wardell from range goes vertical. One more final time, one updraft left in the tank, and he's going to find Vice. Now it's the 5v3, Cloud9 in a very tough spot. Relics is at least going to make it even. Shinobi will participate in that as well. Now it's down to one more frag if he can find it.
I know
the conversion
exactly
would have been very helpful. TSM now in the lead, now with the man advantage. Shinobi able to nullify it, down to Cutler. And somehow, some way, Cloud9 staved TSM off from their own site.
Man, that updraft peak was absolutely insane. But again, Cloud9 were able to hold fast. They were able to hunker down and take care of the kills, able to take care of TSM. Shinobi with a huge multi-kill there. Oftentimes across Reddit and Twitter, there are people who dog on Shinobi and his performances and how he might be the weak link for Cloud9. He held up there. He did great. 5-3-2 on the round so far, so he's having a great early start. Additionally, as the IGL, he does a lot of the dirty work for Cloud9, so
wow,
it's a good start for him, but man, TSM, they're just so good. Sub Rosa with an important opening pick there.
Great support there. Hayes was starting to get run down, but the fact that TSM were able to hold off that push through the entry point there. TenZ and Wardell consistently playing the vertical matchups, getting as high as possible in Valorant and finding success with it as well. TenZ was standing there on that breakable ledge with the panels there that you can obviously destroy and shoot through. So for TSM, they find an early pick. They may be looking at another one here as Shinobi's about to get caught with the support there from Sabrosa. Almost sprays him down, but he's going to manage to escape. And now Cloud9 setting up this A side push with a little bit more of a passive setup here from TSM as they're watching the defender spawn like a hawk.
Yeah, I love how aggressive TSM played that. They claimed that area of the map. They claimed room, and once again, forces Cloud9 into different situations, into different places. They aren't allowed to be as flexible with where they take the spike as they would like. Now, once again, we find ourselves in a situation where there are only 30 seconds left. Cloud9 still has not gotten the spike down. They've got to bust the move. Wardell is able to take care of TenZ. Jet on Jet in favor of Wardell. This time, Cloud9 is just down to 2 members left as TSM continue to look to hunt down the members of Cloud9. The spike is over on B, but there's the Hunter Fury. Mitch is able to take care of one, but Wardell once again leaves Cloud9 in shambles. The spike is going to go down. Oh my gosh, the health bar of Wardell goes down as well, but Drone, excuse me, trades it out. The spike's going to be defused. TSM closed the gap.
Listen, I get it. That was a kerfuffle of a round. That was a mixed bag of emotions, a roller coaster tycoon all the way through. But in that scenario, if there's anyone I want in a clutch position, it's Vice. He has the most clutch wins throughout this open qualifier on the team. 8 out of 30. Next best is TenZ, 5 out of 20. I believe that makes Vice the better clutcher there for Cloud9. Right, but he was flashed. He was flashed, and the fact that he's even still able to get Wardell is impressive. TSM do not want to be losing additional weapons, considering the economy. But look on the flip side, Cloud9's also really starting to be starved. And this is a blow-for-blow matchup. TSM and Cloud9 really proving that they are the heavyweight champs. Moving into the potential close qualifier in the weeks to come.
Simo, you should know better at this point than to try to do math on broadcast. Like that never works out for any caster. You should know better. TSM starting to invest a lot of their resources over onto B because it looks like that's where Cloud9 wants to go, but TSM's not going to have the numbers yet.
Wow. Nice use of utility there, clearing out back of that site there, but Hayes is holding fast. They do have participation from the rest of the team. Now going to start to funnel over from the A side. Still not concerned or convinced that it's going to be a B side hit, but it's been pretty consistent for Cloud9. And we talk about how passive TSM plays towards that B side. Cloud9 tried to hit the A side but it didn't really work.
Here.
They've tried and tried and tried, and it didn't really work. The fact that Cloud9 have been able to make a dent thus far, TSM may be a little hesitant, but no, they're going to commit to this B-side retake. It's the 4v3, TSM down a member, but it might not matter when you've got Wardell in the mix. He's going to find Tense. That's the Jet down. Another Jet still lives. Wardell brings it down to a 3v3 as the spike ticks. Pressure gets intense. TSM needs to get involved. Wardell, he's going to be stopped here by the aftershock. Cloud9 are willing to die on the site. Now as he jumps in, he's going to get shot down. Finds Shinobi down to one final player. He needs to defuse, but that's going to be a swing from Relics. He finds them all. He finds the ace. That's Cloud9. Bring us another round.
Talk about a freaking roller coaster of emotions on that last round. Let's talk about this round. It easily could have gone. There were a couple of instances in which the round was. I was sitting there watching and thinking, all right, this is TSM's round. Like, this is fine. Cloud9's not going to be able to pull it off. And then it swaps, and Cloud9's in firm control. And then at the end, just down to Relics. Relics in a 1v2, hunkered down, like in a situation where really everybody plays that spot when they're trying to defend the site, and from there to get the spray transfer to get the kills. That was absolutely nuts by Cloud9. What a play by Relics.
Definitely keep the rounds alive here for Cloud9. TSM on an eco. We've definitely seen some thrifty rounds today, and definitely in the open qualifier as well. I don't think TSM are going to be any slouches. This is still going to be a hard-fought victory here for Cloud9. The weapons can still be heavy in the hands of TSM. We're seeing that exact fact. Sabrosa with the Sheriff. Wardell has popped the Blade Storm, so this has to be a good down here for Cloud9. As they push in, Drone going to find another. Hayes with the third. As I said it, Cloud9 are falling apart on the eco, down to two final members, Mitch and Tens. We'll see how they can get the job done. The spike's still not planted. 50 seconds left on the clock.
If TSM is able to pull this off, this will be a response to Cloud9's thrifty win that time a couple of rounds ago, and that's exactly what they do. The blades out of Wardell slice and dice Cloud9 to pieces as they're able to win that round, bring the gap closer and closer, now just down to one. Still a lead for Cloud9, but a slim lead nonetheless. And Simo, they've got nothing to work with here. They're just going to be bringing pistols.
We have 3 rounds remaining in this half, and if we look at the loss bonus, has been reset for 4 rounds in a row. Both teams are hurting in their own respective ways. TSM are sitting a little bit prettier, sitting a little bit better, but considering we've got 3 rounds left, how many gun rounds can Cloud9 pull out? On the opposite side, how many gun rounds can TSM pull out? We'll have to answer that question later, as Wardell's like, you're going to have nothing to do this round. We're going to get the ult orb, we're going to take out 2 of your members, and we're going to look incredibly amazing doing it as well.
What an aggressive look at a TSM. We haven't seen something quite like that yet, Simo, where they just fully invest and rush aggressively into a site, and it pays off. Cloud9, again, with not a ton of guns to work with,
Enemy kill.
find themselves down as far as personnel goes. They do still have the Blade Storm, they do still have the Showstopper, but, well, now the Blade Storm's out of commission. They have that ultimate, but surely you don't want to use it in a situation like this.
See what they end up picking up. Hayes is going to be the first contact point here for TSM, but he's just holding on, trying to survive. There's a lot of flashes on the side. Frenzy going to do some damage on Hayes, but it's just down to Relics. And unfortunately, the ace last time not going to be the case this time, as TSM tie us up 5-5. 2 rounds remaining of regulation in the half, and Cloud9 going to force up here. Not going to have a whole lot to work with in the round to follow. So this round definitely counts. TSM could put themselves up at 7-5 moving into the attack.
I don't think I've ever seen a round where a Cloud after, or excuse me, a team, Cloud9, after buying is they're all down to 0 credits. They have fully invested, and that's the thing, Simo, and you were alluding to this earlier. They lose this round, they're going to be on nothing the next round. They're not going to have anything to work with. Furthermore, Cloud9 does have a couple of ults to their disposal, right? They have the Showstopper, the Blade Storm, they have the Lockdown, and they have the From the Shadows, so they have some options, but this is a heavy investment going into the second half.
A lot of ultimates available. You'd imagine Cloud9 are going to want to use them here. Cutler unfortunately caught with his pants down. Pence is going to take him down. Wardell waiting in a very cheeky position. We saw Caboose last time really be an impact player from the wine cellar. He's going to do exactly that this time around. Tense is going to get involved. Updraft goes up. He does have the Blaze Storm available if he wants to use it. Unfortunately, not going to, as Wardell's stuck in a little bit of a tough position. The flash is ready. This is how you deal. Instead, it's the fault line. Holy smokes, Wardell's got to run. He did not anticipate that. He's going to be taken down by 10. Now, 3v2 still doable for TSM, but the spike's planted, and a retake has to come.
Spike planted.
Cloud9 just showed us the ideal way to deal with an operator, right? Like throw CC at him, force him off of that power position, and then take care of him. And that's exactly what Cloud9 did. Because of that, they're able to get the spike down. They find themselves at a numbers advantage. TSM are going to be coming from the same spot too, and they know where they are. Sabrosa gets taken out. Tens is going to get a shot at it, but they're just buying time. Tens with a 4K on the round. TSM gets taken out. They invested. It was a big ask, but they pulled it off.
In the hash.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a very difficult round for TSM to invest in. They still have tons of credits to work with. I'm still very interested in seeing the fact that there was a little bit of a late operator purchase from Wardell. But when we consider the bigger picture, there was a lot of back and forth. The loss bonus was reset 4 times in the middle there. So it can be a little difficult to string some of that together and get an operator. So this is going to be another round here for Wardell on the op. An aggressive look towards the courtyard, but only Mitch is going to be in that area. If they had pushed in towards that same A main aggression, they might have found a little bit more success.
Again, the round to close out the half. Cloud9 has shown to be formidable on the attacking side, as it looks like they're going to try to work their way over onto A. There's the lockdown. We saw this play before, Simo. Can they get onto the site? Can they create enough room with the ultimate and with the guns they have at their disposal to get the spike down?
Oh, Tens is going to push in aggressively. The door gets closed. I find that very interesting from TSM, willing to play the retake, and boy, will they. Look at the TSM players starting to zero in on the position. They're coming from the catwalk, they're coming from A main, they're coming from all possible angles. The spike's been planted, so TSM need to hurry up. They can't stall this push any longer. They need to get back in onto the site. As Sabrosa takes down the door, doesn't have enough bullets to transfer. Tent is ready and waiting for him. And now it's down to 3 players here for TSM. Cloud9 are more than comfortable with dying on the site here, as this is the last round regulation. There's no weapons to save, there's nothing to be left. It all goes down to this half. Relic's going to shoot in that showstopper. Can't find anybody. They're preparing now for the push. Drone's going to find one. Drone's going to find two. It's looking great. Mitch's going to find a second. Wardell's up above, and they clutch things out. They turn it all the way back around. TSM tie us up 6-6.
Hazed was such a nuisance. While that spike was planted, he had been coming in from the attacking side, and that forced 2 members of Cloud9 to pull back, right? Like it forced them to, we gotta respect that. We've got to look at that. Let's take a look at the replays from the first half presented by our friends over at Go Puff. It was a dicey half, really, for both of these squads, Simo. A heavyweight fight between these 2 squads, and this has delivered 1,000%. The tail of the tape has stood up.
This is not a half I anticipated. Cloud9 have definitely kept things competitive, but it is in their defense that they find a little bit of a weaker percentage, boasting a 76% win rate on the attack for Ascent, but it drops down to 69, magical number 69 on the defense.
Nice.
TSM, they're pretty evenly footed on both the defense and the attack, so this is actually going to be a half that favors TSM, but of course, every team plays different. Every team is going to react different. We'll see, of course, how the rounds unfold by themselves. But statistically looking into this one, this should be a way for TSM to at least find an early lead.
Once again, Wardell with the Jet is going to dash and be the first one on to the B site, as members of Cloud9 are hunkered down, trying to get some sort of room, trying to establish some sort of presence, as they are able to get 2. The Cutler trades one back out. Relic's is still alive. TSM's just down to 1, and it's a bloody disaster. TSM gets taken out. Cloud9 a convincing pistol round win.
They just really held on there. TSM didn't really have a lot to work with there, as they had just pushed in. There was a lot of utility already set up there from Cloud9. Probably too much to count. They just threw everything to stop the push. And in an instance like that, you can either pull back and try again on a different site. But TSM were like, yeah, we're just gonna get in there. I think Mitch was a big problem there. As he was able to hold down a very interesting position as TSM started to push in. But it was a good call there for Cloud9 to pull off all of their resources and funnel it on that B site. Now it's a great opportunity for them to convert on a second round here.
Oh, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw it there. Tens with the judge. We'll see if he's able to deliver any sweet highlights off that gun. TSM on the attacking side. They have lost the pistol round, so they're not going to have a ton to work with here. Oh, no. No way. My gosh, you can't write this stuff. You can't make this stuff up. Shinobi's able to get one, and Tens with the judge. The anvil drops, and the sentence has been delivered, but the sheriff puts him behind bars. Wardell is able to take him out. What a response from TSM.
Yeah, this is a round that you don't want to lose too many members from Cloud9, and TSM have proven that they are not only thrifty, but well-equipped on these ecos. There are no slouches when it comes to any weapon you give them. They have all the tools of the trade, and they're ready to bring out that arsenal whenever, however. TSM looking for a late round push towards the A side. They're going to go all towards A main and not take the ult orb. That would give away their position. They may look for it at the end there, and now Cloud9 might have a little bit of a better idea.
30 seconds
that ult
left.
orb. With 30 seconds left on the clock, it's pretty telling, I think, that this might be the A side hit. Fault line comes through. It doesn't tag Shinobi. It does tag Relics, but he's able to at least survive for the time being. Now it's still closes. This is going to be an opportunity for Relics to come in. Sprays down 2. One more player remains. Of course, it's Wardell. He does not miss. And now Cloud9 really do miss the rest of their team. They're going to be looking for the retake to try to take Wardell down.
He's got a sheriff, and he's not going to have it for long. Vice takes him out with the Spectre. The Spike's going to be defused. Cloud9 are going to take a 2-round lead. They win the pistol, the ever-important pistol, and they win the round to follow. And we're able to take 2 Spectres into the following round.
This is supposed to be where TSM heat up, but unfortunately... oh, sorry, yeah, it is. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong colors there. Cloud9, economically tough. TSM, economically strong. This is the round where TSM should be looking to... The colors confuse me because TSM is on the defense, but they're not. They're on the attack. It just got a little confusing for a second. But TSM on the attack, this is the round where they really start to heat up. They are way better on the attack than the defense. And this should be, yeah, you lose the pistol, yeah, you lose the round conversion, but now there's no more excuses.
Slow start from TSM here in this round. You see a good bit of utility invested from Hayes over towards the entry into A. So you imagine that given that setup there, they're looking to invest either onto B or in through mid. They are going to get smoked off. TSM is, as they considered getting onto B, but again, the smokes that were there are certainly making them delay. Oh no. Hayes decides to go rest, and Shinobi's going to be able to swing. He's going to be able to take him out with the Spectre. Cloud9, personnel advantage.
Shinobi's going to clear a lot of that utility as well, but it's really just useless utility. There's nobody there. They're going to be pushing on towards this B site. So Cloud9 are going to be forced into the retake, but pay attention to the positioning of Sabrosa. He's going to be hanging out in the pizza shop, hoping to find some success, but unfortunately he's benched like an Oreo sandwich. Piece of cream in the center, looking to try to take out some of the cookies on the outside. He cannot. Shinobi taken down to 3 here for TSM. Weapons upgraded as well for Cloud9. TSM do not want to be in this position. Wardell smoked off, so he's got to be a little bit more careful, but he's going to develop a little bit of a Venn diagram on the ground and smoke, trying to find some success. He does momentarily. Shinobi will be the one that falls, but Vice, Mitch, and Tens will dispatch the rest of TSM, and a 3-round lead start here on the second half. Things are not looking good for TSM and what we expected to be a little bit more of a better showing.
Yeah, certainly not the ideal start for TSM, and if you're Cloud9, this is exactly what you wanted, right? You were able to get an early lead, you're going to take a ton of money going into the next rounds, and TSM, they don't have a ton to work with here. So you conventional wisdom, again, says that Cloud9's going to be up another round at the end of this, but the equalizer, as always, is going to be the Blade Storm in the hands of Wardell. We've seen time and time again, Simo. You and I have casted many a match where a Blade Storm, just one Blade Storm off of one player in an eco round, flips it on its head, and it goes absolutely sideways. So we'll see if Wardell is able to replicate some of that here.
This is another great opportunity as well for Cloud9. Considering TSM weren't able to convert on that gun round, this could be a 10-6 start for Cloud9, and that is not something TSM are going to be very comfortable with moving into this, you know, mid-half of the second half. With the Blade Storm pop, they're hoping that Wardell can make some magic happen. We'll see if that's going to be the the case here as he's pushing towards the A site. There are 3 juicy targets on the opposite side. We'll see if he lands the Blade Storm onto one of them, or if Shinobi and company will be able to put a stop to it early.
And again, Cloud9 has freaking lit up the B site like a Christmas tree. There's so much utility over there. The TSM are trying to work their way over onto A. They're also going to get some tree room control. This is huge. But, oh, Relics. Relics and Shinobi are both there to cause problems.
Wardell is at least going to answer for the sins of his fallen comrades, but he's the only one that remains. Relics and company will be able to stop them dead in their tracks. TenZ up above on the generator will put that Blade Storm, dull the blades, and send it down to the next round. A round that we anticipated Cloud9 to win, but TSM definitely made it a little bit more expensive, as now they will buy up. TSM going to be opting in for the operator this round. We're not seeing really Cloud9 push it quite yet. They don't really have the credits to do so, at least for TenZ, if he's going to be opting in for that operator. But at the moment, this is a do-or-die round for TSM. This is a gun round that is so important to get them tempo back into their swing so they can build economy. Cloud9, they're sitting pretty. They can coast for a bit. They can bleed a couple of rounds, but TSM desperately need this round.
Yeah, but the problem is, Simo, TSM is not a squad that you can afford to bleed a bit against, right? Like, you give them an inch, they're going to take the mile, and that's why so many people consider TSM to arguably be the best team in North America, top 2 in the world. Right? So if you're Cloud9, you can't let off the gas. You can't, because TSM will punish you for that. So Rosa is able to get the opening pick as Relics is taken out. You hear the From the Shadows was used. The spike is still nowhere near the site as it looks like TSM tries to fight for control of mid.
I would love to see a stat. How many smoke kills TSM
It's
found
unreal.
throughout the open qualifier. They just spray, and so does TenZ. Shot Caller out of commission. Cutler will be taken down. Now the Blade Storm here from TenZ looking to do a little bit more than Wardell was in that previous round. But Wardell's still alive, still an impact player, still can do some damage. He's got the spike, and it's starting to make its way over towards the A side. Where you've got Vice, you've got TenZ. Those are 2 players that you do not want on the opposite side.
And with 30 seconds left, I mean, at this point, they've got to go away. They don't have enough time to rotate back around. So you're guaranteeing that this is where the hit's going to go. The problem is Sabrosa is weak. He doesn't have a ton of health to his name. You see TenZ is already there. He's going to get flashed out. You hear the spike has begun to plant. TenZ spots one. TenZ takes one. As he's going to drop down onto site with the blade, so he gets up close to personal, but he's not able to take anyone out. Shinobi answers the call. He stops the push. TSM's just down to Sabrosa. Cloud9 plays that perfectly.
Wow. Wow. Super well done. You saw TenZ was hungry for blood as well. Already dropping the 20 bomb. Wardell not too far behind alongside Relics as well, but a strong... They didn't even let the retake happen. They just fought them on the site, and unfortunately there was a lot of smokes, a lot of pandemonium. It was great for Shinobi. He rotated from the B site early. In anticipation, he called the play on the A side. He could have stuck on the B side. He could have stuck in the courtyard, looking down the middle. But it did not work out that way. He rotated early and he found success. Now looking at the 6th test in this round. Shinobi once again! Shinobi! Gonna find 2. They're gonna push in. Looking for the 3rd. Has to go open with it. Right now, it's TenZ's turn to have a little bit of fun. It's Cloud9 put us at map point 12-6.
Match point.
Shinobi has had 2 huge rounds here, 15 and 13. He's certainly playing well. TenZ, as you mentioned, is having himself a field day as well. Cutler with a slower game, but again, Cutler has been so important in the rounds that TSM has won that you can't count him out, but Cloud9 pushing the situation here. They find themselves on match point. They're looking to take a 1-0 lead. And folks, remember, this is a strong map for both of these squads. TSM banned away Cloud9's weakest map in Haven, and they took the matter to Ascent. So Cloud9, again, good for both squads. Cloud9 certainly looking better so far.
This is a map that both teams are potent on, so it's not something that I think, either team is going to come out swinging on this map, and it just looks like Cloud9 were the team that swung a little harder on Ascent. Bind will be coming up next. Already Wardell out of commission. He'll have to sit the rest of the round out, as will Sabrosa. Down to the 3v4 as Cutler now puts himself in a position with the rest of his team to play in the back of the site. Hunter's Fury now here for Colors, looking to try to tag up a couple of members. Maybe he sees someone on the opposite side. Oh, he's going to find one right onto Vice. That might be the ticket here, as now they start to come through. Hayes has to back away. A lot of injured members here for TSM. Really one shot, and they're going to be as good as gone. Now the push-in comes in for Cloud9. Paranoia Hayes, unfortunately, can't see a darn thing, as Ken will be able to send him down to the graveyard. Cutler in a 1v2, or should we call him the Clutchler? Unfortunately, this time we will not. Cloud9 wraps up map number 1 with a neat little bow.
A convincing win from the boys over in Cloud9. TSM, they showed moments of brilliance. They showed a couple of instances in why they're considered one of the best teams, arguably the best team in North America, but they come up a little bit short. Cloud9 just gave them everything that they could handle, and TSM, there were a couple of instances in which they just had no response.
It looks like some time in the hyperbolic time chamber with the addition of the new head coach and strategic coach for Cloud9 has definitely helped out. Now they've got a scrim partner as well in C9 White. In fact, they've got 3 Valorant teams here at Cloud9, so they've got a lot of teams to strategically manage, and I'm imagining Cloud9, Blue, as they are called, are doing quite well there with the support team. That was a very convincing map here from Cloud9. I anticipated it to be a little bit closer. I thought the TSM have been putting on a phenomenal performance in the open qualifier, and that they were really going to bring the heat up against Cloud9. But we still have 2 maps left in the series, and I really wonder what Bind is going to look like for TSM. They banned Haven, a map that they're comfortable on, and we're going to be going to an undisclosed location because neither of these teams have been on Bind. It's going to be a shocker for both of us.
And that's what makes this next map so exciting. Well, nobody knows what to expect. We haven't seen it this entire tournament after all of the time between major tournaments, right? For us not to see a map this late into things, who knows what these squads have had cooking on this map, what kind of set pieces they have. I'm like giddy here as I wait for this next map. We're going to cut it to a very quick break, folks. When we return, Game 2 between TSM and Cloud9. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.